What's up, it's Phil from Fit Will Expose, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the classic lift, the overhead press. Now a lot of people want to know the common mistakes, so in this episode we're going to be talking about 4 novice mistakes that a lot of beginners tend to make with this exercise. I'll show you how to correct them, we'll go into detail, and you're just going to love it. Now the overhead press is a great exercise for building up the front and the side delts, along with building some tricep strength. And even though I've been talking a lot about the rear delts, and even though I think that the rear delts are the most important part of the shoulders for really giving you that cap look, you still need to train the front and the side delts with a lot of vertical presses. So we're going to talk about this lift in this video, and let me know your feedback. Okay, so the first common mistake that most novices tend to make with the overhead press, hands down, it's full range of motion. So a lot of novices tend to start with the bar at around nose level, and they don't even lock out the weight. So this is something that I really fell as a victim to in the past, because I was trying to reach the intermediate stage a lot faster. So I was basically skipping out a lot of range of motion to try to lift more weight. And it sounds like it makes sense, but at the same time, if you're trying to maximize your shoulder development and also just do the movement properly in general, you need to do a full range of motion. So the bar should start at your upper chest and you should lock it out. Now a lot of people don't do this because they can't lift as much weight, but in the short and long run, it's so worth it. So in my opinion, full range of motion is the way to go. So I'll show you how most people do the lift, and I'll show you how you should do the lift. So most people will unrack the bar at around nose level. They'll unrack it around here, and then they barely even lock it out. So it looks kind of like this. And this is especially true on the seated version. So you want to avoid this at all costs. You want to basically unrack the bar, start at chest level, and then lock out the weight. So that's how it's done. Okay, so the second most common mistake with the overhead press is that people aren't using a vertical path to press the bar. And this is a big mistake because they're basically not maximizing the leverages. So gravity obviously operates in a straight line, and if you want the easiest path of resistance, you need to press in a straight line. So most people, they'll press it like an incline press, but this once again is very false. So a lot of people will unrack the weight, and instead of pressing straight up, they basically press like in a standing incline. So we press right here. This once again is false. What you really want to do instead, and this is coupled with the third tip I'm going to give you, but you want to basically press the bar in a straight line. So okay, so mistake number 3 is linked to the vertical bar path in number 2. So this is pretty much a 3-in-1. A lot of people, they're not sticking their chest up, so they don't have a proud chest. They're not tucking in the chin, and they're not pushing the head through. So if you do all these three things together, it's gonna make the vertical bar path a lot easier to do. So what you wanna do is basically have your chest up. So it's gonna create somewhat of like an arch. You want to keep your chin tucked because you don't want forward head posture, or else it's just going to hit your chin, which is very common. And you want to push the head through the second that the bar clears your forehead. So check this out. Okay, notice how my chest is up, my chin's tucked, and I'm going to push the head through. Okay, so the fourth most common mistake that most novices tend to make is lack of lower body tightness. Now a lot of novices, they tend to think that the strict press is just a strict press and it's just the delts and the triceps that are doing all the work. But this couldn't be any further from the truth. The reality is that the lower body is still helping you stabilize the weight, it's just helping you stay more stable. So just because it's not a leg exercise doesn't mean that the legs aren't working hard. So your quads should be squeezed, your glutes should be really tight, your whole midsection, so your abs, your obliques, your low back, everything should be tight and stable, so that way you're not rocking when you're unracking the weight. So it gives you a better walkout. Then once you actually have the weights in your hand, you just feel more stable overall. It just creates a better base to press weights over your head, even though it's not a push press. So a lot of people who aren't tight in the lower body, it'll kind of look like this. Their legs are like kind of bouncing all over the place, like kind of like spaghetti, and it just makes the lift a lot more awkward. And you may be able to get away with this once when you're using lighter weights, but I guarantee you when you're in the intermediate stage, you can't afford to make these kinds of mistakes. So what you really want to do is proud chest, keep the chin tucked. Okay, so check this out. Notice how my glutes are squeezed, my quads are flexed, and as far as this stance, you don't want to go too wide in most cases, and I wouldn't recommend going too close either. I think shoulder width is the way to go. As far as your feet, you can have them slightly out, it's not the end of the world. And okay, so I know I already told you guys 4 tips, but I'm feeling very generous today, so I'll throw in a 5th one just as a little bonus. And this relates back to the vertical bar path I was talking about to basically maximize your leverages. So what you want to do is you want the bar to skin your chin on the way up, and on the way down you want to basically skin your chin too. So it doesn't have to be so close to where you hit your jaw, but if you're skinning your chin, me I like to basically skin my goatee. That's a good sign that the bar is very close to my center of gravity and it's not too far off. So a lot of people, they have the bar way too far from their chin, but what I'm showing you is you skin the chin on the way up and on the way down without hitting yourself either. So skinning the goatee. Okay, so there you guys have it. Those are 5 very common mistakes that novices tend to make with the overhead press. Now, these mistakes are very apparent, but notice that as you get more and more advanced, the mistakes are more and more subtle, but they still have to be taken into account. So let me know if you guys want to see 5 intermediate mistakes that novices tend to make with the overhead press, and I'll definitely deliver. Now, it's a lift that I'm also working on a lot myself, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.